So the original SaltX rods came out in 2019, and it's 2023 now, and there's a second generation that's now out. And I gotta say, they got a whole makeover, these second generations. They're pretty sleek looking. They got this dull color to them. They're slick, I really have to say. And again, at a great price point with top of the line components. Nick from Tsunami, who had a lot to do with what went into these rods, he's gonna go over them for me. Nick, what's up with these?
So, 4 years in the making, we came back out with a new and improved version of the SaltX surf rods. These are SaltX Generation 2. Starting with a kind of very unique blue finish. It's a slate blue. In the sun it kind of reflects like a bluish purple with a little hint of red. It's a very unique color. We also have the matte blue finish on the guide wraps. Nobody's ever really done that before when it comes to matte finishing off and making the whole blank look as stealth as possible. And that complements the Fuji black titanium guides. But before we go down into the componentry and all the actions, the meat and potatoes of the rod is a very high density 30-ton carbon blank, 100% carbon scrim running from butt all the way out to the tip, and it creates one of the lightest blanks in the surf market. We have blanks that in the 7'7" weigh under 3 ounces. The 8'7" is going to weigh in at around 3.2 ounces. Incredibly light blanks, incredibly powerful, with no sacrifice in blank wall thickness. See if that shows up. So these are thick wall, high performance, designed for a high performance and rugged reliability, and lightning fast recovery. I'm going to go ahead and load this up on the floor real quick so you can get an idea of the bend. And if you watch the spring, you can see how it jumps off the floor. A rod that loads this easily generally doesn't recover as quickly as possible. So the thick wall combined with the high density carbon give or allow for a very quick let off, almost like a compound bow. You'll load it up, it loads easily, but it snaps back and puts the energy right into the cast. We found that when tossing big metal woods, 2.5, 3 ounce, we didn't have any issues with tumbling. When it came to throwing aerodynamic baits such as pencil poppers, we can still get the oscillation of the tip that you want for working a pencil efficiently, but it also allows you to pick your trajectory, punch into the wind without any, I don't know, flat, low trajectory cast when you're looking for long distances. So my personal favorite's the 7'7". This rod here is capable of throwing up to 2.5 ounces. The sweet spot's 1.75. The whole rod itself, just to give you an idea, balances right at the foregrip. You put a reel on it, you don't even feel the rod tip in hand. Fuji titanium guides from tip, from butt or strip all the way out to the tip. Slim SIC guides take as much weight as possible out of the tip. And again, another rod that the recovery is like nothing you've ever fished before. It loads easily and it recovers like a compound bow.
So Nick, one thing I did notice about these rods, which I thought was pretty interesting, was the ferrule system. That's not standard to a lot of surf rods nowadays.
So traditionally you see a tip over butt construction. Some of the rod manufacturers do a spigot ferrule. We made these when we were going through the prototype phases. We tried tip over butt, spigot, and tip into butt with this. In order to save weight and decrease the overall diameter of the tip section, we opted to go with a tip into butt system where you don't have to increase the diameter to accommodate the butt, or at a very high leverage interaction point have an artificially or unnecessarily thin diameter butt section. We went with a reinforced butt that can accommodate the tip, a reinforced tip that we don't have to, unnecessarily increase the diameter, which keeps the whole blank as thin as possible, and we keep the wall diameter thick. So the combination allows for more material throughout the entire tip section, decreased diameter, and overall weight reduction, while without sacrificing any strength.
That's awesome.
So there's a lot that goes into that. It's a design that's been around for 150 years. Actually, sorry. The first fishing rods that were made in multiple pieces were tip and butt. And it makes sense that one of the nicest rods on the market is now going back to an originally accepted high-performance design.
Right, it makes sense too. And they just weigh nothing too, these rods. I mean, I have one in my hand. What does this weigh, the 8.7? This is...
Whoa, 6 ounces?
Yeah, it's nothing. It feels like nothing in my hand. Yeah. But also cool and similar to these surf rods, but I think one step below is the ones on the other side of this rack. And I do want to check them out too. You guys are going to come this way, check them out.
They need the 17.77.
So now these are the forged rods.
Yep.
Correct? Now these are one step below the SaltX 2 rods.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Tell us about
the
these.
forged line of rods shares the same high density 30-ton carbon, same tip and butt construction. But what we ended up doing was we went to the Fuji stainless steel gunmetal slim SIC guides versus black titanium. That allowed us to save a significant cost while still retaining all the performance of the SaltX rods without watering it down. We're looking to make high performance rods. The last thing we want to do is intentionally introduce lower grade carbons or carbons pre-preg with a glass scrim. We still retain the 30-ton carbon from tip to butt, the 100% carbon scrim from tip to butt, no glass, all thick walled, featherlight. The main consolidation in cost comes at the guide choice, and the largest rod side is the 10.7 that uses a Fuji DMPS. So you have the SaltX rods that range from $300 to $400. These range from $200 to $250. When you compare it to the competition in weight, casting performance, and what most people don't really consider a surf rod, which is becoming more important with everybody using plugs that are not resistant. You have a metallic plug, you can feel its action on the surface. You don't have to worry about if it's fouled because you don't feel the rod throbbing, in your hand. What you do is you use a twitch bait, a needlefish, a small minnow bait, which having a sensitive rod allows you to know if the plug's fouled. These being such high performance, light in the tip, sensitive rods allow you to feel the different nuances of your hydrodynamic lure, that you don't have that feedback in the rod tip like most lures. And that carries over from the forged to the SaltX back and forth, with no compromises with this series of rod whatsoever. You still get the ultra high performance guides with the Fuji gunmetal slim SIC guides, Fuji TVS reel seats with carbon inserts, the Fuji TVS with the backstop, and it's also the contoured redundant locking ring. All high performance. The grips are full contoured. We went with an EVA spiral wrap. During prototyping phases, we tried 3 different materials: natural cork, rubberized composite cork, and EVA. We found, even though EVA was a little more expensive, it actually had the best hand feel, and it held up the best, even if water happened to get underneath the grips, over cork and rubberized cork. And it was also much lighter than rubberized cork and about the same weight as natural cork. We continue that full spiral under wrap all the way down to the butt. We have a nice tacky Fuji rubber butt. We're going to make a slight change to the rods from what you see here when they go into production. These aluminum winding checks we're going to get rid of and go with a material that's less likely to scratch and show wear, along with here at the reel seat.
These are some really cool products between the forged rod and the new SaltX, the updated SaltX rods. What can you actually tell me about the availability of these rods to the public?
We're shooting for fall.
Okay.
We want these for the fall run.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I didn't mention, it's a Fuji crutch butt that's nice and tacky. No vinyl that slides on your waders. So when you're holding it up like this, it's not sliding down your pants, which is, for me, it's one of the most frustrating things. They get, a lot of surf rods on the market, great actions, lightweight, responsive. Man, oh man, it just slides down your waders.
Right.
It doesn't stay planted.
Yeah. And you had some input on this too, and you're, as a surfcaster, that definitely goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
In helping design rods and stuff like that. So
I have a moon
that's good
tan.
stuff. Yes. Well, this is all exciting, and guys, look forward to it. Hopefully, fall of 2023, these will be out and available to you. Surf Kids is out there to catch some striped bass and bluefish. Nick, thank you, man. I
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.